Another question here: how to deal with lower back pain? I used to do heavy deadlift and squat and remove them for about a month to get rid of the pain. I started slowly incorporating them in my routine, but the pain came back again. Okay. Um, you're not alone. This is a very common situation, right? I'm sure you've heard of other athletes uh, in our space that have dealt with something similar. Kind of like we mentioned before, I would double check what the goal is. Uh, if heavy deadlifting and heavy squatting is something that you have to do for your goals, that's one thing. If you don't have to do heavy squatting and heavy deadlifting, I would say keep them out for a little bit longer. There's no reason to do this dance of trying to find modifiable factors and increasing load, decreasing load, changing the range of motion, and changing foot position, trying to find ways to work around these things. If you can just get rid of it and put in another exercise that may jive better with you and may give you the same bang for your buck, if not more. So yeah, if you have to do these movements, there are some stretches you could do like beforehand, afterward, but it seems like it's more of like a movement type thing, a movement or a load type thing. If you took time off and then they flare up again, maybe it wasn't enough time off, or usually I don't even recommend taking time off from a movement if it's painful, because then you lose kind of your capacity toward that movement. And then when you go back into it, it's kind of a guessing game of where to start. So that may have been what happened when you pulled them out, which was a good call. That's probably the easiest, safest thing and a good choice to pull them out if you're having pain. But then how long did you keep them out for? And then I know you said you gradually put them back in, but how did you do that? Like, how did you determine what gradual was and what was the right move for you? It's hard to say. Very hard to say. So for me, what I usually do, if you have to keep those movements in, find some way to modify it so you can do it without pain. So whether that's just putting a box behind you and you squat to the box and maybe limit the depth a bit, and that feels good, perfect. If that still doesn't feel good, maybe we increase the height of the box, right? So now we have 2 plates on top of the box, or 2 cushions on top of the box. That feels good. Okay, perfect. Now we roll with that for a week or two. And then if we're still squatting without pain, maybe the weight's still heavy, or maybe we have to change the weight. Then maybe if we're doing 4 sets of squat with 2 cushions on the box, then we take 1 cushion out for 1 set, and then we do 3 sets from the high point again. If that feels good, then we continue to work our way down. So then we do 2 sets without the cushion, and then we do 3 sets, and then we're doing 4 sets with just 1 cushion. And then we do the same thing. Take 1 cushion out, 1, 2, 3 sets, 4 sets. That's just one hypothetical example. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but usually the principles of that example, where we find a kind of like the least that we have to change, we change until we can do it. And then you gradually work it back in, so that we were up here, and then we drop down here, still have pain, drop down here, don't have pain. Beautiful. Hang out here, and then we just kind of go right back up in a gradual way, versus what you did, which again isn't a bad call, because I think you did the right thing. You were up here, and then you dropped it here because we just took the movement out. And now we were out here for, I don't know, maybe a week or 2 that you took off, or 3, 4 weeks, whatever you decided to take off. Now, where do we start? Where do we jump here? Do we go here? It's kind of a guessing game, and misjudging that can flare up that pain again, especially if it's been going on for a while. Our body kind of remembers pain. So if the low back is a sensitive area for you, then we want to make sure that we really don't flare that up when we work back into it. I hope that helped. Tough to say without more specifics, but if you do want to dive in together, I'd love to work with you. Just shoot me an email or a DM. We could dive into it a bit more and see what we could do.